There it goes. Still putting the finishing touches on today's show, making sure we're live and well, active as we usually are. So I think it's just best we can just jump right into it, man. I think it's best we just jump right into it, man. Hello, all, and welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson Jr. Our man doing his greatest. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Who was that guy? Who was that yesterday?
They knew that guy.
Who was put in that position? Can we say Penta after he got headbutted off the ladder? After he got his brain smashed by El Grande Del Americano? A lot of splatter. A lot of people falling all over the place. It's just dangerous. All the way dangerous. Isaiah Jackson Jr. Alongside me, Devin Crimes. Devin, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty fantastic. I thought I'd kick it old school and hop up out of that confidential location I was in.
Location.
See the sun a little bit. Touch some grass.
Yeah, I know you don't do that often. I know that's not really one of your favorite things to do, touching grass. But look, it seems like it's done wonders. It seems like you're happy at this point in time.
That grass, man, especially when it's freshly cut too.
Especially when I'm telling you, especially when it's freshly cut. See, Devin didn't even tell me about this lower third, about this graphic download, this ticker we have here. We still have it on AEW results and whatnot. I was like, Devin just letting it fly.
You know what? Because I'm so I'm still getting used to like that dude, doohickey down there. I'm used to, back in the day, in the old days of the prehistoric heel turn days, we used to have this dude that would tap our shoulder and be like, "We're talking about AEW next," and I'd be like, "All right, cool, I ain't need that," so I knock him out. So that's why y'all never saw him. So like, it's interesting that we got that now and put that story to rest because it made no sense.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, and that person was really, really reliable. But one person that stays reliable is the boss, the Redeemer, Justin. Justin, how you doing? Look, circle of debate. You do not want to miss these guys. They are on all day, every day. I didn't mention this, but this actually warmed my heart. We had karaoke night with Kayla. Well, Kayla had karaoke night of Kayla, and we had so much fun, Devin and I. But one thing that she mentioned that actually warmed my heart, I felt amazing. It felt awesome to hear because somebody asked, "Where's Justin?" Because everybody, that's the huge question. That's the number one question. If Justin's not on the screen, that's the number one question you got to ask. Where's Justin? And Kayla said something along the lines of, "Justin's taking the weekend off," and I was like, "Thank God, man!" Like and that's not a bad thing. Like we see Justin all day, every day, and this man has a life of his own. Like, he works, he has things outside of wrestling. And the fact that me and you can be like, dang, man, today just sucked. Like, we got beat up. We got bashed. We got to take a break today. Let's take a quick break. Or, we got some family stuff going on. Something's personal going on. Let's take a step back real fast. There is no step back with Justin. There is no days off with Justin. So when I heard that he was taking a weekend off, man, I was a huge smile came across my face because I was like, man, I'm happy this man is getting the rest that he deserved. Mr. No Days Off. Darren Young can't compare to this man. Huge. I just had to give Justin the credit and the love because, man, when I heard he was taking a day off, a weekend off, I was like, man, that is beyond deserved. Well beyond deserved.
No, I can agree. How can I put it? Because look, I heard that and was like, what? In a way, I was like, cool, because I'm so used to, the boss being there, but at the same time, the boss need to have time to himself to recharge. so that he could be the boss and the redeemer that he is. So man, shout out to Justin all the time.
All day, every day, of course. It even comes on to say, and look, we agree with that as well. Even this machine needs a day to recharge. And yeah, look, man, every machine needs to recharge. And look, I'm glad
Except
Justin
for
got
this
all
man
the
Xbox,
recharging.
man.
Right? I'm glad
You
Justin got
want to
all
talk
the
about
recharging he need, man.
Mr. No Days Off? That be this dude Xbox, man. It stay on.
Look, my Xbox is off now. That's mainly because we got a nice little graphic, a nice little graphic for the.
It's probably backed up like.
Look, it's off. It's off.
It's probably burning your hands too. You like.
There you go. Look, the Xbox is on. Usually, I do keep my Xbox on. I ain't gonna lie. If I leave the house, I leave it on because look, I could come back, pick up the controller, and keep playing.
I could come back and find my house burnt down.
See, that's the thing. I've been doing this since PS1. I've been doing this since the PS1 days.
Yeah, that's why it needs to be a stop to it, man. You know, it just every day. The dog has so many lucky days.
See, I was doing it when my Xbox 360 had the Ring of Death, man. The ring of Death. I was like, bro, come on. That's just a band-aid.
You know
need a band-aid.
Maybe you do know what you're doing, so I'm gonna just let you continue this.
I'm gonna just keep letting you waste your money. That's what I'm gonna keep letting you do. Justin says clean looking graphic. Appreciate you, brother. Speaking of recharging, man, we definitely might need you. We would love to have you because everybody do need a little bit of Justin in their lives. Everybody need a little bit of Justin in their lives. But we would definitely love to have you throughout the week. Me and Devin looking to get active throughout this week. Of course, got a potential interview this week, and me and Devin got an event as well. We're going to talk about that as well. And Justin, we would just love to have you on throughout this week. If you would love to, definitely would appreciate you, brother.
Presence of the boss.
Presence of the boss. But Devin, we got some great presents at WWE Worlds Collide. First off, we had Conan on the commentary. Just an amazing.
Conan.
I'm sorry. That video just always get Conan. Him in that fan. Like, I'm sorry, that is always gonna get me. I'm glad he's safe. I'm glad everything's good with him. But I mean, well, that was what was his name? That was Don Callis. That was screaming. Callis, yeah. But glad everything's good with Don Callis. But Conan wasn't there to protect you. I'm sorry to tell you,
Conan.
Yeah, thankfully for Conan. But even then, I mean, Devin, Worlds Collide. I missed parts of this because I had a nice, I had a nice little hotel. I was supposed to go on vacation. The vacation got minimized to just a hotel stay. And so I missed a little bit of this event, but I still loved.
I really didn't care.
Pretty much what I saw from it. I started off with pretty much I didn't really miss too much. I started off with Legado del Fantasma versus El Hijo del Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. And just Devin, your thoughts on WWE Worlds Collide as a whole. Was this good for wrestling, or did you just see this as beneficial for WWE itself?
I saw it good for. Yeah, I hate to put it in a box in terms of for just WWE and AAA with this partnership that they have, in terms of giving that exposure of what AAA has to offer, combined with WWE as well, as it was like kind of like NXT's crossing over with AAA with Worlds Collide. I thought that was a great, perfect mesh to do in terms of the people that, like Javon Evans, I thought was a perfect person to mix up with them with that faster, hot pace of action that they were doing. So to me, I think that was a perfect way of, because I'm gonna be honest, that was the most I've seen, maybe a little bit of AAA, but that was probably the most I've seen lately, and them being with this exposure. And hey, it was nice that it was on YouTube. So it was pretty cool, easy for me to catch it. And I think I caught it around the same point. I'm put two words together. The same part that you were on is the part that I caught it, and I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, and it was. I don't know. I'm sick of Chad Gable at this point. That's all I got to say.
Whoa! You lost me. You had me all the way up until that very part right there.
Look, but it's not his fault. It's not his. You ever hate somebody, but it's not their fault. It's just like, I don't know. It's like, I know that's how I am with him, because I feel like everything he doing, he could just do straight up is Chad Gable. I don't know. This Grande Americano part, and just I mean, Stephanie, she did the same thing. She had a tag match at AAA and still was in the women's Money in the Bank. She ain't had to hide who she was. Be true to yourself. Okay,
I mean,
I'm done.
even with that, like I do love me some Chad Gable. I love Chad Gable and this El Grande del Americano stuff. I'm still stuck. Granted, I thought it was stupid in the beginning. I still wish Chad Gable was doing something better, but I can't lie and say that I'm not sports entertained. So look, I'm eating it. I gotta eat it. So, like, but even with that, I thought this was fun. I thought this was a whole lot of fun. My favorite part about this was Conan. Like,
Conan.
you could yeah, you can tell they're trying to like play it straight, but Conan is like, "Hey man, what's the score? What's the scoreboard? What we down 3-1?" It's like, "Well, okay." Like so if El Hijo del Vikingo lose, just imagine if how did he say it? I forgot he mentioned something along the lines of, "Could you imagine a WWE championship being lost in another promotion?" Like just saying what would the ramifications be like if El Hijo lost? So that I just thought that was pretty cool. Conan kind of being that biased commentator, because he was just like, "Oh, what are some of the weaknesses in El Hijo del Vikingo's game? Nothing. Oh, okay." He's
Don't
just
worry
like
about
Corey
it.
Graves, just sure. He's like, I gotta eat that. Say huge shout out to Justice. Say no more. I'm there, of course, brother. He also comes in and states Stephanie Vaquer is unreal. 3 matches in 2 days. Yeah, absolute workhorse. And that's kind of was one of the reasons why I thought she was gonna win. I was telling Devin when we were watching it together, I was like, yeah, I think I got Roxanne winning this. But then even Michael Cole talked about it. 3 matches in 2 days. The great work Stephanie Vaquer has been doing, and you're like, man, how can you not reward this? How can you not this, but like, how can you not reward this? This work. The body of work that's being put here. And so, honestly, I'm not mad about who won, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But I mean, I loved it. I love this event. I love what I've seen. I'm officially become a fan of the Mr. Iguana. Look, honestly, at first I was like, "Look, man, what is this? What is happening here?" Look, I ain't gonna lie. There was a Spanish fly on the iguana on the iguana itself that cracked me up. I ain't gonna lie. At first, I was like, man, who wrestles dolls and things of that nature? But this man he was cooking all of them. One person had enough, man. I'm gonna just Spanish fly this iguana. I loved it. I ain't gonna lie. I loved it. All in all, I thought it was
You
a
wish
good
you were
event.
entertained.
I was
What
sports
I'm hearing.
entertained.
That's what I'm hearing.
I, I had a whole lot of fun. Fatal 4-way match, I thought was the best of it all. El Hijo del Vikingo and Chad Gable put on a classic. I thought they put on a barn burner, but I was a huge fan of that Fatal 4-way match because there was so many twists and turns to it. Javon Evans coming through in the last minute, and a lot of those. It was just too fun, too much fun. Ethan Page, being the guy that's he's always gonna kill him with a smile. He's that guy. And then I wasn't a huge fan of him when he walked in. Well, he got me out of my character one day. So I was never really a huge fan of Ethan Page. He's growing on me now. He's definitely growing on me. And the last thing I'll say is Chad Gable in the middle of his match with El Hijo. I forgot what he does, but he gets up. Lucha Libre sucks. Like that is the fun. That was my favorite part of that whole match. Lucha Libre sucks. Like, dang, man. Imagine y'all was in Mexico and you said that. You ain't getting out of there. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, you ain't getting out of that arena. Justice says, as much as I would love to see Stephanie win, Naomi was the correct winner. Devin, your final thoughts on Collide, AEW Worlds Collide?
Well, I thought that first and foremost, well, that's not really my first and foremost thought. Second and most. Uh, I thought it was a lot better than the previous World Collides that been put on. Like when NXT would just have to do like NXT UK. So I thought saying like, oh, NXT is gonna actually go and collide with. They're gonna be doing this with AAA instead. I thought that was more intriguing to it than previous years. So props to that. And it's just like I said, it being just on YouTube. I'm like, oh shoot, it was like a little nice special treat right before Money in the Bank.
And I can't wait for the next one. I just can't wait for the next one to see how all this fares out. Uh, I will be a little weird here. We're gonna skip over across the street. There's a couple things I do want to talk to
You're
Devin about,
weird.
and yeah, we got to go across the street. I know Devin hates going across the street. Devin's not a fan of the other people of those. Don't trust
I
those
go
new
over there, and they
people
be
over there. That's
looking at
Devin.
me.
Devin likes to go. Devin will go. You can't force him to go because he will go willingly. But man, you make him watch it on TV. Jeez, it's like on Saw where you got people's eyelids tied to their forehead. Devin's like, no. He's like taped to the chair. No, stop.
That's what it takes, man. Cause shoot, I'll be sitting there like this.
I'm sick of seeing Canadian destroyers. Like you over here just getting locked. He kicked out at one.
There you go, man. See, look, he over here plotting my words, my demise and everything, just for everybody to know. So if you ever need to get information out of me, you know how to do it.
But you know how to do it. I'm telling you, that's how it happens. But it's saying that I do want to talk about AEW Dynamite Fighter Fest, something that we didn't really get a chance to talk about. Jon Moxley took on Mark Briscoe, a match that I really was loving until the ending, where Mark Briscoe, I didn't necessarily see him choke. I didn't necessarily see him tap. I didn't see him pass out. But, of course, it was a referee stoppage with the chokehold submission. And that's because Mark Briscoe hit such a cold promo. He's like, Jon Moxley did choke me out, and my daughter can walk up to me and say, Daddy, did you quit? Nah, I ain't quit. Nah, I gotta fight you like a man because I ain't quit. And he still didn't quit, and he lost. So it's like, brother, like, what is the point of all this? You know, like, your daughter still learned the same lesson she learned in the last match. So, brother, like, this is a waste of time. I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
I mean, exactly. But no, that's the thing. No offense to it. To me, it's all a waste of time until look. I'm like this. I'm all out until all in, and then after all in, I'll be right back in because I just can't.
I'm all
man,
out
I can't.
until all in.
Jon Moxley is a champion to drain me, man, and I hate to feel like that for him because it just. You know, I go back to him as like Dean Ambrose, but I can't even try to link that man to that man. I want to separate them two because no, I can't. It's just like even when I was there when they came to Chicago, it was cool in person, but that was one night versus we talking months upon months and almost a year of the same Drake. So I know, hey man, you ain't really my favorite, but you my last hope. How can I put this? Obi-Wan, Hangman Kenobi, you my only hope.
Well, that's here's the thing though. But that's the thing though. Like the more this goes on, the more I wish Will Ospreay would have won that match. Like I really have zero love for Hangman Page now. I gave up at this point. Like Hangman Page, I just can't be sold on him. At first, I was like, you know what? The work that he's doing has been a little bit better. You know, I've loved what he's done now compared to what I've seen him do in the past couple years, which is still saying a whole lot. Like I said, my peak on Hangman Page, when I was a peak Hangman Page fan, was when he was beefing with Swerve. Outside of that, man, now to see him go up against Jon Moxley, he could potentially be a 2-time AEW champion. I just want you to win the belt to lose it again. With the quickness, you know, you are no better than Jon Moxley in my eyes, at least to me. I don't think Hangman Page is going to have a much better title run compared to Jon Moxley. He's not going to go through and kill the roster, but he's not going to be any more entertaining. I really wish the more like the days go on, I just wish Will Ospreay would have won that match. And Will Ospreay would have been the one.
No, I definitely agree. I guess to me, seeing Hangman be the one that won made me see like, okay, cool. We're gonna get that match at All In between him and Jon Moxley. But now we could still possibly have him and Will Ospreay, you know, whoever will be a champion. We could still see Will Ospreay in that match that we thought we was gonna see at All In. I guess I'm looking at it like, you know what, could have got that match, but now we got this one and we still put that one on the back burner. So as much as I would have preferred to see Will Ospreay be the one to take the belt from or briefcase from Jon Moxley, and I'll take it. You know, I ain't got to see this for a little bit.
Yeah, that's the best part about it. He definitely is going to take a well-deserved time off, as he should.
Like the boogeyman, but like with no season. because the boogeyman you kind
honestly,
of
or no Pop. But even with that, I mean, we got talking about people leaving. We have people returning as well. Anna Jay was getting the brakes beat off of her by Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. And then of course you had Ty Mello come through and save the day. Now, Devin, it's a huge return at all. Are you psyched for this? Now, Ty Mello's a really good wrestler. I'm not trying to undermine her at all, but I just want to get a gauge. Are you excited for what Ty Mello's going to bring to the AEW Women's Division?
With with the flux of people like Megan Bain currently, and who's the one that's what's her name? She took out your girl Jamie Hayter, Trekka. I said Trekka. I get her.
Trekla.
Yeah, it's just like I look at like someone even like her, and I just, I don't,
The toxic
I don't.
spider.
Yeah, I just like I'm seeing things like people like that right now, and Ty Mello coming back. Me personally, I ain't got that spark for her coming back right now and really making a huge, impact. Maybe give her some time, but it's just that I don't think that's what the focus is, and it's hard for me to really gauge like with the women's division because at least now we got Mercedes and Tony Storm finally colliding. I've been waiting for that for a minute, so I'm kind of in a shuffle of like, where would I want to put in anybody anyway? So I guess I could have made this a lot easier and easier to digest and just say if I was gonna do anything with it, I'll wait till after All In. Actually,
there you go. Yeah. Honestly, that would have been perfect. Yeah, I think it's perfect right there.
I was reaching deep down to get to that conclusion.
No, I was like, as soon as you said it, I was like, no, that's actually pretty spot on. I think that's great. I think that's a great analysis. Like the analysis went on, but it's still a great analysis. Like I don't think there was any fluff in that at all. Like what I'm saying is you made perfect sense.
I was like, man, I feel like I'm strangling myself. I'm really think this will wait till after All In. There's nothing you can do for her right now. Sorry.
There's nothing is there anything you can do for Mercedes Moné? Do you want to see Mercedes Moné beat Toni Storm? Where are you at right there?
I actually would go for it because I don't with Toni Storm. I feel like she could probably take a break, but then I'm like, who else gonna step into her place for a hot second?
But she already took Mercedes.
A break. I know, but it's okay. You know what? Maybe this way. Maybe if Mercedes didn't have all them belts on her, which that's fine for her. I can see this easily. Where I'm like, you know what, Toni Storm beat her and make her go sit down somewhere. But I'm like, she got other stuff to do too. So I'm gonna actually hit you with a Uno reverse and say, I prefer Toni Storm to win because I feel like after you recently just said she did take a break recently, she can come back and her and Megan Bain down the line could probably do something. And I don't know, Mercedes do need to go sit down somewhere. I just wish she could go sit down and like when she does it, it left an impact at that moment where I'm like, okay, cool. She put so and so over, that helped her. Now you could come back at a later date. I just don't know who that's gonna be. Who.
Not at this point. Yeah, there's so much that you could do with Toni Storm, but I mean with Mercedes Moné, man, that fatigue is coming on strong, man. That fatigue. She's already at 5 belts. She was already dancing. I believe it was at Disney World or Disneyland. She was at a Disney event dancing with 5 belts. So it's like, all right, cool. Please don't make this 6. Like please just don't. That's the last thing we need. Like, please don't make this 6. Like, why? Like, I can understand why they did all of this with FTR. FTR was just like red hot, and they were red hot in the company. It wasn't like Mercedes Moné where she won some belts and then got to the company and then started doing her thing where she just went undefeated. FTR was there, grinded it out, was going back and forth with the Young Bucks. Eventually, you seen fans choose FTR over the Young Bucks themselves. Then you see the process. Then you see the growth. Mercedes Moné, she just walked in and started beating up people. It's kind of hard. And so, I do want to see Toni Storm win. I do think Toni Storm is kind of the quote unquote hometown hero, even though she was the one that also jumped ship, quote unquote. from WWE to AEW, and it's a whole lot of fun. This is gonna be fun, at least for their rivalry. But man, Hangman Page and John Moxley, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, nah, you can keep it. That's okay. You can keep it on SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, you're funny. Yeah, this is like how I feel for the most of it. I mean, like I said, I hate to be that person. You paint me to be this person that like hate AEW. I don't. I just don't have high expectations no longer because that was the issue. I put them up here and then be thinking like, hey, why y'all so down here? And it's just like it's not that it's down there. It's just that's where they want to be, and that's fine. As long as ain't nobody, landing on no Sonic the Hedgehog spikes, I'm gonna be cool.
Honestly, but I think that's a great point too. And I think we can end off there. I think that's a perfect spot to end off right there. All right, bringing it back to WWE Money in the Bank 2025. What is so funny? What is so funny with this, man?
Because I get kind of nervous because like my camera like kind of look like it be lagging. So I try to move so you don't think I'm like the camera messed up. And it's breaking me. I'm sorry, I'm breaking
Oh
character
no,
here.
I got your signal over here in the corner. So like, if you do like just go away, I can see.
Cool, cool. He said I don't know why. All right, that makes sense. I'm
No, I was
gonna
like, I definitely
keep
got
my
you.
keep my comments to myself.
We got to get into well, let's just jump right into it. Naomi, we talked about it. Naomi won the Money in the Bank ladder match. She beat some great, and I mean great competition. Won Roxanne Perez, Julia, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie McCare, Alexa Bliss, and it was a really great match.
Hell,
Devin, your thoughts on Naomi winning and the match as a whole?
I thought Naomi winning was a great choice. It wasn't a choice that I initially was like thinking at first, but when I look at who else was in that match, and in terms of the future, and in terms of like, this ain't gonna be the last time we'll see Stephanie in this match. We definitely not gonna see the last of Julia in a Money in the Bank match. Rhea don't really need to win it, obviously, but it's nice to have someone of her main event presence in that match either way. But Naomi winning, and I'm really happy in terms of her winning this because now she's a heel too with it. So it's like it's more avenues you can take with it in terms of her just antagonizing like Tiffany Stratton because she already said like when I was trying to get to the championship and you didn't have it and you had the briefcase, you was always in my way. Now I'm finna be
Mm-hmm.
in your way. So that's a perfect story that's already been laid out from last year when Tiffany was Miss Money in the Bank. So to me, all that working out on SmackDown is perfect. And all the other women, like I said, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Especially when you look at where Stephanie and Julius just come from in NXT. The future is
Facts.
still way I can't even put a ceiling on it.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, you're seeing everybody in this match has a future. Everybody in this match has a future ahead of them already. And even the ones that have already had success, the Naomi's, the Alexa Blisses, the Rhea Ripley's, there's still a whole lot you can do with them. And that's one thing that you got to give a whole lot of credit for, with both participants, with not both, but all participants. Everybody laid it down on the line there. I can't think of anything that almost led to a death, or like a serious injury of some sort. Besides Stephanie Vaquera's move on the ladder to Rhea Ripley, that was you know I put had to say to camera roll there. But outside of that, I thought it was a really really cool match. I thought it was a whole lot of fun, and honestly, Naomi definitely deserves this. I definitely think Naomi deserves this for sure. Did you see Big E's speech?
I did. That's why I was like, it was. I don't know. It was cool because that's why I was like, her being a heel, it just amplified it because I thought everything he was saying. I'm like, dang, why you saying those right now? You could have waited till later on. Like she got to be, proceed with caution right now. And you up here about to make everybody cry. And she played it on perfect. Everybody's like, oh, you deserving it. She's like, man, don't tell me that right now. Y'all wasn't shooting with me in the gym. So like I was really,
Facts.
it was perfect. That made me even more just excited for where she could go with this. And it's a lot there already. I can just already imagine the work that she just did right there in that moment of like where she wants to go in terms of that briefcase and like the attitude that she has now, the
Yep.
sky's the limit.
Oh yeah, there's so much. There's
Had a
so much
dream,
they can do
I
now.
had it made, and
And
karaoke
and
still
even
stuck in me.
karaoke still stuck. Yeah, no, it ain't stuck with me. Nah, as soon as I was out of there, I was done singing. I was done singing. It was like, look, that was all y'all. That was all y'all could get at this point. And I was like, look, at this, and I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I loved every bit of it. But I gotta reserve the vocals. Got to reserve them from when they
See, that's enough for now.
for the
I put them away
for
for
next
now.
karaoke night. Exactly. Dominic Mysterio had a really awesome match against Octagon Jr., of course, from AAA. Of course, he has some help from Liv Morgan because Dominic and Liv can't win by themselves. So a really great win, a fun match. Dominic Mysterio, of course, still showing his crazy heel tendencies, and I mean, I'm loving the work he's putting in with the
See
IC
them
title belt
right
around
there.
his waist.
See, right when he was like, he need help to do this. Look at that. He might, but he's starting to take his shots now though. That's what it come down to. It might be he might be making some bank shots, but they shots that he taking. So um no, I besides saying Liv Morgan he helped to win, I could agree with
Yep.
everything you said. Especially when I just really say with the evolution of Dominic Mysterio, it's insane. I almost never want to go and see anything he did pre Clash at the Castle 2022 because it like it seemed like a different person. So I that what more can I say?
What more can I say? Yeah,
I'm just saying don't watch anything of Dominic pre Clash of 2020 Clash at the Castle 2022 because there's nothing you need to see. That's where you start his story when he turned on his dad. I know that sounds insane, but that's
look, I'm telling you,
the
when
story.
Rhea did what she did, and y'all know what she did. When
You
Rhea
know what
Ripley
she
did
did.
what she did to Dominic Mysterio, that was the
He had to do
turning
what he
point.
had to do.
Because it was the turning point for it would have been a turning point for me. I would have been on that turnbuckle. Rhea, stop. Well, maybe not. It's like, well, maybe not. Oh my God, we have to help Isaiah, son. Do you have to though? Do you really?
So this man go through a whole different like character redemption arc and everything, man. Like
Right,
you join the Judgment
exactly.
Day, like
Join the
you just
Judgment
like
Day. Exactly.
you got like a
He did
mohawk
everything he was
now.
supposed to. He did everything he's supposed to, as he should. Becky Lynch did everything she was supposed to do too. After she stole the Intercontinental title belt from Lyra Valkyria, we seen Lyra Valkyria beat Becky Lynch with her eyes closed in the last match. And then, of course, pretty much the same situation happens when they get caught up in the roll up, and Becky Lynch grabs the tights, of course, as every heel wrestler does to gain the advantage in a roll up to win the match. Uh, I think you predicted. I don't know if you had Becky winning last match when she lost, or you had her winning this match when she actually won. But your thoughts on just this match in general?
I think I had her winning this match because after she couldn't beat her the first time, I'm like, if you lose a second time, I just kind of don't know where to put you or Lyra because I mean that's great for Lyra, but it don't really it leaves a lot on the table if you ask me. So with Becky beating Lyra in kind of a somewhat similar fashion, uh, I mean I kind of put it. You know what happens when Becky Lynch has to cheat to beat you? You know, you start on this journey that it may seem like you're not going nowhere at first. People gonna call you delusional at first. They may say that you're on drugs, which you're not. And it's a little hurtful at first, but you eventually endure and you take all of that hate and transgression and things of that nature, and you start to see a peak on the horizon. And it's kind of crazy because like we kind of nearing, SummerSlam. Even if you see what I'm saying, see how they mocking ridicule you at first, but then they start to lead and stand right behind you as soon as everything you say comes to the light. So I'm gonna lead that with you and say Lyra Valkyria gonna be just fine because Becky Lynch just had to cheat to beat her. And the last time I saw that, yeah, it turned out pretty well for Liv Morgan. Let me say that. Just think about it. Lyra gonna have her own arch enemy She gonna have her own Rhea Ripley at some point. She gonna have her own Judgment Day. And I know you're gonna be like, she gonna be her own person. Don't put a label on nobody. But I'm not saying, I'm just giving them, something to not aspire to, because it just seems like that's a bit too high. Reach in a sense, or idea of where you want to your landscape to be there. See, I mean, it's crazy because like it tear me apart because I'd be so full of optimism and just hope for like the future of like the women's division or like maybe the tag team division, and then like I get this
Yep.
guy. Well, I mean, as soon as you step up to Rhea Ripley, you might as well just go ahead and go back to catering. Cause like, what are you doing here? And it's like, well, I don't know, dude, man. I can't build nobody, if you ain't giving me no tools.
Well, that was after Rhea Ripley got not really destroyed, but that's what before she lost to Io Sky. With Io Sky, I think definitely made Rhea beatable. After because I mean Io Sky beat her clean, and then you get to the triple threat match, she still does it again. So it's like when it comes to somebody like a Rhea Ripley, she's still my ceiling. But if you have a Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez feud, I'm not gonna kick and scream if Roxanne Perez does come out the better woman, after that once, when it's all said and done and things of that nature. So that's pretty much my thought process throughout it. I'm trying to look for something real fast because there was something that happened, of course, after Money in the Bank that really, really got people upset with Becky Lynch. Of course, Becky Lynch has been going back and forth with Bayley after she was the one that was that attacked her. She was saying that she has to pay $100
WrestleMania
to,
spot.
Yeah, it took her WrestleMania spot. Becky Lynch pretty much had to go back and tell Bayley that she's texting. She has to pay $100 to text her friend, aka Mercedes Moné. If you don't know what's up with that, you can look up that. And if you do know what's up with that, you probably paying $100 to text her. You nasty. But Becky Lynch is pretty much saying that she mocked Bayley for going back and forth with her and being the one that walked out on the WWE. And that was one of the things she mentioned last night in the press conference in the media scrum. She talked about Naomi walking out on the company, and she talks about the work that Bayley has done in the company as well. A little bit of minimization, but of course it's all working. It's not like she's just sitting pretty much coming here and just spitballing a bunch of BS. But your thoughts on Becky Lynch coming through and name dropping the stuff that happened with Naomi, with Mercedes Moné, and also with Bayley as well.
I mean, the sick person that I am, I kind of like it because it's kind of, because if you really think back when that first happened, she was the first one that said like on TV, like on screen, uh, Sasha and Naomi just walked out. What we gonna do? They out here.
Yep.
What was going on? So that part of the continuation to there, I can appreciate that somebody would drag that line across and bring that to now. And with Becky now being a heel, it ain't necessarily big time Bex, but it's a pinch of it, and I like it. I prefer Becky Lynch as a heel because it's this type of things of that nature of that press conference that I think amplifies that. Because when we got like a piece of that when she was the Raw Women's Champion back in 2022 with the whole big time Bex thing, I thought that was great because it was a way to help elevate younger women coming up. Like for instance, like I'm not trying to go back to Liv Morgan again, but in terms of a similar with like Kira, I'm just saying, like it just when you see it just is kind of funny. When I start seeing these ducks line up, I'm like, I could have sworn I've seen these before. So I'm just all in to say I'm a big fan of a heel Becky Lynch. So if that's what we getting, then I ain't gonna complain. Because as a face, it's just it can only go so far.
Well, here's the quote that we got here from Becky Lynch here. There it goes. Naomi walked out on me. If she thinks she's going to come after me, she's got another thing coming. Tonight, my child watched front row for the first time, and she wanted to see Naomi win that match. And I have a big problem with that. And that was, of course, Becky Lynch when asked if she was worried about being cashed in on. And honestly, She shouldn't. You know, if we're gonna be honest, she shouldn't. Naomi, if you try to cash in on Becky Lynch, I'm gonna actually interrupt it myself. I'm actually gonna stop the ref. No, stop. Proceed with caution. You know, like
See, there you go. See, there you go. Why not?
what do
I
you
mean,
mean?
I
Why
don't
not?
want
That's a
to.
waste of
No.
time.
I mean, you're right. You're right. But see, I'm not gonna see. There you go. You're already throwing it away. It's a waste of time. And another universe, another realm, that could probably be a terrific idea. You know, a good way to put some drama behind the women's intercontinental championship to give it some more prestige. You know, but that's fine because I want her to get back on Tiffany anyway and go for the women's WWE Women's Championship, not the IC, not the United States. And there's no offense to them belts, just not right now for the trajectory that I want Naomi to go. See, I be trying to tell you, you be like, oh, wait a minute. If you go for that, you might as well just throw your whole briefcase away. Austin Theory,
Yes,
is that who you are?
yes.
Oh, that's entirely different though. That is
You.
entirely different.
We literally heard Big E before the show. His exact words were, "Money in the Bank changed my life. I went from a mid-carder to a WWE champion overnight. And if you win that briefcase, I was a mid-carder and I became a mid-carder overnight." Like, come on now.
But if you were already a main eventer, or if you've already won the big belt and you win it again, I mean, I'm just saying your avenues is still open. You can go both ways. I'd be like, well, I already won the big belt. Fine, I can go there too. But I ain't never won this one either. They just brought this one up. Man, why not? That's why I said it's different. The whole Austin Theory thing is different because he shouldn't have won it in the first place. He was too young. And you already knew he wasn't gonna cash in on Roman in the first place. It was a terrible situation. They almost should have not had money in the bank for them 2 years. If I'm being honest with you, I would have figured out something else. And then
But
just,
that's the
oh,
thing.
I forgot we got this and brought it back. So I don't see a problem if she decided to go that way. You can make it as personal as you want to make it. And I mean, what?
You just want to see Naomi in mediocrity, man. That's what it is. You got a ceiling on
No,
Naomi.
that's the
That's a
thing. Because
ceiling.
see, and that's the problem. You're trying to force her into mediocrity, and I'm trying to put it in a situation where
You're
it don't have
forcing
to be.
her.
No, I'm not. That's how much faith I must have behind her and going on this. That I can see you making it seem like if I can see this and say, "Oh shoot, you probably will be going backwards doing this." You might as well just go for the big top championships. I'm not saying she can't do that. I'm just saying don't take it off the table. That's all I was saying. Like I'm saying, it's interesting if you put them belts in a certain way. We already knew with the United States Championship at that point. Who cared? He already had it previously and had just lost it. So it just none of that made sense. Though I brought it up just as a sense of that's the worst it could be. This ain't it,
Okay.
Chief.
I just,
I had to throw that Chief in there.
I agree, but if she
I mean,
goes for that,
but the, because that's the thing I'm trying to say. Becky Lynch holding the championship. You making it seem like I'm
who
talking about her
cares?
cashing in on. Wait,
Who?
you making it seem like I'm saying she need to cash in on Zelina Vega. Okay, they both mid card championships, but look at the two holders. And I'm just no offense to Zelina Vega, but she's not Becky Lynch. So if I was to say,
No.
hold on, if I was to say, oh, if Zelina Vega was to say, oh, should I be worried about Naomi? No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. And there's no offense because there's nothing to tie you to her. So if I had Becky Lynch to be sitting up there talking about you, like, oh, my daughter wanted you to win that match, that made me mad. Can't stand, she already, it's already little personal bits there already we can use. Okay.
Devin,
I'm going back
no.
to, I'm gonna go back to my point from All In now, from AEW. I'm gonna go across the street for a little help. And I'm gonna come back. I look at these matches like, cool. I got one match. This is a match I wanted, but I'm not gonna get it right now. So they're gonna give me this one. So now I got two. So that means I know I still got that one I really wanted on the back end. I really wanted to see the Avengers beat Thanos in Infinity War, but they saved it for the end game. So they brought me back for another viewing. Meaning they're gonna bring me back for a second match. I'm just saying, open up the
No.
avenue. We making matches behind matches. We got matches that meet another match, and you already know how that go. And they gonna make another match.
And that match is gonna be trash. This is gonna be a trash
Don't
match.
matter. Don't matter. We got another match though. You wouldn't know because the thing is, if you would have never went down the avenue to get that other match, you would have been stuck with that one match.
But
And I
the
ain't gonna say
avenues
match
away. I
again.
feel like the avenue for the IC title for Naomi to go for an IC title I think it's a waste if she has the money in the big briefcase. if she doesn't have a Money in the Bank briefcase, even before she could have came up a while ago, like weeks ago. She has full. She's already a WWE. She is a former 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion.
That's what I'm saying.
She could have been asked for an IC championship match. She doesn't need to win the Money in the Bank briefcase to
Why would
get
you ask for one recently though? Becky Lynch just won it. That's my point I'm trying to take. Things will be changing as it goes along. I'm just saying, a week ago, if Lyra Valkyria was still the champion and Naomi won this thing, I would have been like, well, yeah, what the heck she want to, tangle with her for? There's nothing to get from
why does Becky Lynch? That's why I'm confused at. Why does Becky Lynch? Why is she the difference maker?
Because it's Becky Lynch, and she up there talking crap.
We see what Charlotte Flair did at Mania. Charlotte Flair didn't do much of nothing. I think Becky Lynch is just a Charlotte Flair here in this situation. I think Becky Lynch. I see zero difference between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair at all. I don't know why people still have the love for Becky Lynch, but just despise what Charlotte Flair.
I mean, because when I wake up one day and I see Charlotte Flair walking around with the Women's United States Championship, maybe we can have that discussion. But I don't see that.
But we don't.
But I see Becky Lynch saying, you know what? I could do that. I could go ahead and win that IC championship and be a heel. And all I'm saying is, all I was trying to make was, I don't mind you opening up avenues for a match for that. I can see you going, well, why would you want to do that? And I'm like, well, dang, they waste money in the banks anytime. So to me, it's just Tiffany, and that's an easy grab right there. That's just like, okay, cool. I'm just trying to say, always keep your eye open for the other avenue. Is all I'm trying to say. You can always just say, Devin, screw you. I ain't looking over my shoulder. I'm gonna keep my head straight ahead, and that's fine by me. Just always keep your eye out for the match that's behind you, because you may never know when he may pop up.
I want to see this match when Naomi wins the WWE Championship and Becky drops the title, and then we see this go, and then we can see something from them. At least fight for a WWE main card championship. I don't want to see Naomi.
There you go. I didn't go ever, but who gonna ever care about the? I mean, you're right, but who gonna ever care about these championships, man? That's the thing. We got to get them to a point that it's gonna. I don't know. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say they do.
Yes, I have a huge question. Roman Reigns was an Intercontinental Champion before, right? He was, right?
This is true.
Say he's IC champion. Your WWE, now this is hypothetical. Your WWE champion is Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns has an extensive career, like just a list of achievements compared to Drew McIntyre. I think I can say that. Do you think it would still be smart as a Money in the Bank title holder, just because of the prestige, to cash in on Roman for the IC title over Drew McIntyre?
Once again, I hate to be that person, but I do have criteria here. And that is the only reason why I'm straying on this making sense. If that said person has some type of personal ties or beef with Roman at that time that they hold in that Money in the Bank contract, there's one reason right there. Number two, the difference here is they just instated these championships. The Intercontinental Championship been around longer than. They put the history of it on DVD. They don't even may use DVDs as a main format no more. That's how old that bad boy is. What I'm trying to make is I just love that they have an avenue to elevate possibly the Women's Intercontinental Championship. You don't have to go that way, but it's nice to know that you could go that way. It's nice to know that them little bits and pieces of drama was planted. That is all I'm saying. Becky Lynch could have easily just went up there and just said, well, I was like, Carrie, you trash, and I knew it. I hope I never see you again. But no, she was like, oh, Naomi won. Man, screw her. My daughter wanted her to win, and that made me mad. Forget her and my. She ain't say forget her and her daughter, but come on, it's little pieces. That's all I'm asking. What if the Tiffany thing don't work out? You never know. But that little jibber jab right there from last night could lead to a nice little. They might bring payback or something back. We can get us a little Becky Lynch versus Naomi for that stuff she said. That's me. I think of big pictures and I think of small pictures as well. we think of the little indie films.
I don't know. I like one of your three
Who will we
pictures.
be? See, he want all them big motion, big block, but he want them big motion pictures, baby. He want the big explosions in the Avengers Endgame, baby. He don't want the
That's what
little
we need.
small indie film, baby. That's all I got for Dusty.
But here's the thing. There's more. Because we had another Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, everybody and their moms was in this match. Seth Rollins, El Grande del Americano, Andrade, LA
Who was in this
Knight,
match?
Penta, and Solo Sokoa. Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody and their moms was in this match. Now, Seth Rollins at a point in time was like, hey man, I need my big boys. I need some help. Which brought out Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And then of course, which also led out to which also led out to Jacob Fatu, and of course JC Mateo kind of going back and forth. They had their exchange as well. Uh Jacob Fatu, as Solo Sokoa is climbing up the ladder, Jacob grabs Solo by the foot. And a huge shout out to Solo. I got a question for you about Solo later. But Jacob Fatu hits an explosive I hate you Solo, hits him with a Samoan drop, hits him with a moonsault, and just completely just destroys the man. Just completely destroys the man. Your thoughts on the breakup and Solo's performance in this match? Because man, he has been the talk around town in this match. Just being seen as a funny guy, not for the wrestling, because we know he can wrestle, but just him being his character showing out more often than not. Just your thoughts.
I mean, it's funny because at one point, 2 years or 3 years ago, he just wasn't saying nothing, and now yet he the person that's saying the most in the match now. So that evolution was kind of like him taking pieces from what? See, I'm supposed to. That wasn't supposed to be what we were supposed to get at that point. That's why when you in enforcer, ain't nobody supposed to be seeing you dancing. They kind of lessens your impact as an enforcer. We ain't see Jacob coming in and well, okay, what he kind of do with the boogeyman boogie dance. I'm gonna call it that.
Oh yeah,
But
I mean, I don't think
no,
he's. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna go into the whole I hate you solo thing because
Oh yeah, of
I
course.
kind of. I mean, we seen that from when he first started saying "I love you" solo. Like eventually he gonna turn that into, eventually solo gonna start doing stuff that make you not love him no more.
Yeah,
So
my
they
favorite.
did
My
the.
favorite part of.
Oh, my fault. I keep cutting you off. And
Oh
the
no, it's
last
no
time this
problem at
man,
all.
I got my
Well,
cow.
I'll just sprinkle this in, then I'll throw it, then I'll just hit you with that Magic Johnson toss back. But like my favorite thing about that was people adding background music like that sitcom music when I believe Solo was talking to JC, and as they
Oh yeah,
leave, Jacob Fatu, comes out from around the corner, boom, 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 boom. So that you got the theme music in the back, you got to go to
that
commercial.
Seinfeld music.
That Seinfeld music, man. I'm
Boom,
telling
boom, boom.
you.
No,
But you
it
see it.
remind me of you. You remember when Triple H? I think it was Triple H and Ric Flair, and they was talking about
Yep, Triple
Batista.
H, Ric
Like
Flair.
Batista don't know what's good for him, and da 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 da. And he was just right around the wall or whatever.
Yep. Then they win the ring, got
That's
the
the
thumbs up, put the thumbs down, and beat the brakes off of Triple H. Yep. Remember that like it was
that's what I
yesterday.
thought of. Yo,
That's facts. And that's crazy because recently I've been seeing the Randy Orton turn when Randy Orton is on top of Batista's neck, pause, and Triple H is just like, you're the man, you're the man.
you're the
And then
man.
he just and then
Take it
they
back.
beat the brakes. Yeah, take it back, give me back my title. I'll kill you.
Say.
Like
Okay.
it's just like there's so much stuff that was happening throughout this whole thing that was fun to watch. It was entertaining, but we're starting to see a whole lot of that more. And of course, Triple H was involved in it. You're gonna see, things start coming back a little bit. As long as we don't see no, Katie Vick reenactments, I think we good. So outside of all that, Seth Rollins ends up winning the match. The bloodline is no more. Even Solo came out though on Friday, said, Seth Rollins looks like you got yourself a little bloodline. And look, Seth Rollins is making them work because they showed out in Money in the Bank, and they also came through and helped Seth Rollins get the briefcase. He is our new Money in the Bank holder. Your thoughts on Seth Rollins winning? Do you think it's deserved? Do you think This is something that he needs right now.
I think it's kind of funny that if I ran back in time and like found me in 2014 and was like, "Hey Devin, guess what? In like 11 years from now, he gonna do this again." I'm like, "Man, shut up! He ain't gonna do that. It's gonna be I don't know who was an underdog popping, at that time." I'll be like, "Man, it's gonna be Neville. Like, get out of here." Uh, but he was one of the people that I could see winning it in the match because of the presence of who Seth Rollins is. He was like to me the biggest main eventer in that match. And you have along with that with this new inclusion of Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and every week you're coming out talking about all this stuff you're gonna do and take all this power and control. Well, you're gonna have to, do something to make that put some weight behind it, and that helps with this. Because if he was to come out here every week and say that and not win this match, ain't nobody gonna be listening. But when you got that briefcase, now people gonna have to listen because at any point we already know what he's capable of with a briefcase. Hence why I brought up him winning it 10 years ago. So and he got
Right.
Paul Heyman in his pocket, and he got Braun Breaker with him, and he got Bronson Reed with him. So I don't know. Everything he been saying, I kind of feel like he gonna make happen.
Look, and speaking of that, I feel this. I feel the exact same way. I feel the exact same way because Jey Uso is now 1 month into his title reign. Seth Rollins, you got 2 months, brother. Seth Rollins, you got 2 months. I predicted Jey Uso was gonna have 3 months with the title. Seth, your deadline is 2 months.
I mean, I don't know if Seth Rollins hearing me though. I ain't Paul Heyman. I ain't a wise guy. I mean, but if I was a visionary, revolutionary, and all that crap, I'd be keeping my eye on Monday because Gunther and that's tomorrow. Gunther and Jay got that match, and Jay been kind of doing too much. So
good point.
I don't know if I feel like if Jay even does beat Gunther, if I'm Seth Rollins, I'd be lurking though. I'd be standing in gorilla like. I wouldn't even be gorilla. I would be on that solo. I got me a ticket.
I got
So
me a
I'm
ticket.
just that what I just thought of right now. I'm like, I hate to take the belt off of Jay. I ain't like you, and I'm not this evil emperor that's gonna rip the championship off of this guy. But if I was to do it, that's the way I would do it. And I hate to cash in the money it makes so fast. But given everything built up, and if I want to keep everything kind of moving, I do that.
I do that
I
too.
don't know what I do with Jay afterwards, but that's a discussion for another time.
He'll figure it out. It's just him, Moose. It's just him, Moose. He'll
It's
figure it
just
out.
him losing behind.
I can't wait to see. Honestly, we've been seeing Big Jim a whole lot more often. I want to see what they do with Big Jim. Now, if he can win that title over his cousin, I would love that a whole lot more.
Hey,
Or his,
I wouldn't. You would find no
I'll take
complaints
it.
from me.
If it's bloodline related, then no complaint with me.
What?
Now,
Look, I don't know. I'm gonna
go
leave
my
it
bad.
there. We in shambles right now, but we okay. We out here still making moves. Divided we are, but united
Guard
we
yourself.
I don't know used to be. Yeah, I was about to, so I might forget this. There's no hope.
All right. Oh, the biggest question. The biggest question of this whole thing here, Devin. R-Truth returns. Were we lied to? The reason why we have to ask this question is because look, there was a tag team match yesterday that I knew I was gonna go to sleep to. I was like, look, after this men's Money in the Bank match, I'm pretty much gonna care. I'm tuning out. I could care less. That's gonna be my nap time. But lo and behold, as John Cena was getting ready to do his evilish deeds upon Cody Rhodes, R-Truth came through, tackled the man. And this is after multiple, well, not even multiple, because he got released, maybe last week, if that. This is coming after multiple shows of We Want Truth chants. John Cena having to grab the microphone. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle our truth. And, he's just going off about, truth and this, that, and the other. And then, lo and behold, the truth comes over to beat up John Cena. You know, we can't handle the truth, but John Cena's over here getting handled by the truth. So it is what it is. Devin, your thoughts on R-Truth's return? Because honestly, I don't care about the match. You can tell us your thoughts on the match, but I just care more about R-Truth's return.
Man, I ain't telling you nothing about that match because I mean, there's no offense to you. No, I don't want you to think I ain't telling you. I'll tell you about the match if it was a good match. I put it that way. I'm trying to keep you at
That
high
Superplex is
standards and
cool.
keep that match. Hey, that's it. That's all I can say. I was like, that should tell you when the aftermath of leading into the finish is what we really harping on. But R-Truth, or should I say Ron Killings, is back. Like he never left, I guess. I don't think it was a work whatsoever. I think it was a case that his contract just wasn't gonna get renewed, and it was just like a panic of like, what? He was just a Saturday night's main event with John Cena. This is a big deal. It's R-Truth. And I ain't gonna lie, I was hurt too. Like when he tweeted and said I got released, I'm thinking like, they gave him, hey, get up out of here. What's up? You up out of here. And so I'm
What's up?
thinking that's
You
the
up out
case.
of here?
And I'm like, at the same time, it's no offense to him, it's R-Truth. I'm not thinking, we losing a future WWE champion right now. So, but I get it. I don't know. I guess I'm still in the little middle piece of it because I'm just going along with the ride. Because at the same time, had he not popped up, I don't know. I think we would have still been in this weird stalemate of John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso. So I mean, yeah. I'm gonna leave that and say I don't think it was a work. I just think that for once they listen to somebody and say, hey, we getting sick of hearing this. We want truth. Can you just put this hoodie on?
Can you put this hoodie on? Can you put this shiesty on?
Yeah,
Look like a
here,
YN for the people.
Do what you gotta do.
Huge shout out to the devious one, Ivan. What's good, fams? Happy Sunday to you. And as we talked about before, Circle of Debate, they are live all day, every day. Look, and even if you don't know, even if you're like, man, they haven't been live today. Like, when are they going live? I just don't know. Trust me, they'll remind you. They have notifications. They will let you know 30 minutes before that they're going live. So hit that subscribe button. Roll to 1,000. I think they are at 1,000. I think let me do some research. Let's do some Circle of Debate research.
Let me not be a liar for once.
Let's do some Circle of Debate research because I definitely want to see. They're at 1K. Congratulations on the 1,000 subscribers. Hey, look, I had to do that because the last time I was on it, they were at 993. So whole lot of love.
Shout out to Circle of Debate, man. I had to throw that sound effect in. I got the right sound effect too. That's how you know this is a big deal.
No, they're open to anyone, and they're for everyone, man. They have brought in everyone with open arms, everybody that's done wrestling content, and we have seen a lot of familiar faces, and we've seen so many new faces. And I mean, we even met some faces at AEW events, so like this Circle of Debate, it's definitely been a blessing, for us, and they will definitely be a blessing to you. They live pretty much almost every day. So, like I said, if you're like wondering, oh well, how come I'm trying to figure I've been going through Circle of Debate withdrawal, and I'm trying to figure out when they're going live. Yeah, trust me. Turn on that notification. They'll let you know. They will let you know.
Further.
Look no further. Look at that. Shout out to the devious one. Love you guys very much, y'all. Remember that we appreciate you both very much. Yes, we're at 1,009 subscribers on the road to 2K. Now let's go, baby. Look, 2K is even better, man. Roll to 2K. And we ain't talking about basketball. Even though, look, Y'all should have seen what Ivy did to that man in this chat, man. You should have seen the crossover. You should have seen. I'm sorry. There was a guy in Circle of Debate in a chat one day. He was in the hospital with an ankle injury. Man, it's just been a running joke between me and Devin that he got his ankles broke. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure he's healthy. I'm pretty sure he's living his best life, and I hope he is. But man, I'm sorry. We just have to have a lot of fun with that. Devin, as we continue on with Triple H and him lying to us, 17 seconds, so we won't get flagged. Triple H's comments and his thoughts on R-Truth's on the R-Truth release, and pretty much his comments on the whole thing.
was he actually released or leaving the company? And if so, how much did fans play a role in it? Or was there something else that made you guys decide, like, you know what, we want this guy still here?
I love the question. You enjoying the show? All part of the show, man.
You loving the show? It's all part of the show. Hey, Devin,
Cop out.
but that's the thing.
But
That's
I
what I want
get
to
it.
ask you. Because a couple weeks ago, we were talking about keeping kayfabe alive and kayfabe this. This is exactly what he's doing. Are you upset of this
What?
about this in any way?
No, because to me, the better kayfabe route would have been "We hear you" and just move on because it's just like if that, I mean, because what you gonna bring back everybody there? I'm just
I mean,
saying. I mean, I don't know. It's just saying like it's a part of it. It makes it seem like well, all other real. I don't. Well, granted, he never was released. It's just they weren't gonna renew the contract. That's that. It was just him saying I got released. Puts it like, oh my god, how they gonna do this? You know, you terrible company. And so yeah, I would have just said we hear you because it's like I would have been like, yeah, we heard you wanted more truth, so we inserted them back into the story, and I would have left it at that. I wouldn't have said that was part of the story because it didn't feel like it. And with The Rock coming out saying this and that don't happen. WrestleMania was supposed to be in New Orleans, and now that's not gonna happen. They might as well just not say nothing, just do stuff. You don't tell me what you're gonna do because obviously you might not do it, and I don't want to have to hold it against you. So if you're gonna release our truth and bring them back, don't tell me. Just do it and then bring them back and just say you was gonna do that anyway because you did it.
I do like your take of just saying, "Hey, we hear you." That's all you have to say. Hey, we hear you, and that's it. Just leave it as is because you don't. There is no explanation. What's that famous quote? What's understood doesn't have to be explained.
Ain't
No,
got
just
what's
leave it as is.
understood ain't gotta be said.
It's like just leave it as is, as you should. And but on the flip side, when you look at it, our truth, I won't necessarily say that's what kind of makes it seem like it was a work because for him to say I was released and then it's just like, well, no, you weren't released. Your contract just wasn't renewed and you're working on a new contract. He's talking to TNA, which is still connected to WWE, which I do think is a little bull jive. WWE's going to release you. Okay, you can sign to TNA and then you're going to work for WWE on TNA's dime. It's just like that's crazy. WWE's kind of that's filthy. But honestly, it's smart in more ways than one. But when you're looking at R-Truth's case, fans aren't going, look, we love Dakota Kai. Like we love Dakota Kai. We love, I'm trying to think of another release person. We liked Braun Strowman. I'm not going to say we love Braun Strowman. But a lot of people love Sonya Deville. A lot of people love Shayna Baszler. There was no we want Dakota. There was no we want Baszler. There weren't any chance of any of the release talent that were gone that the fans demanded back. With truth is a whole different thing. So honestly, I can see it being both ways. I can see it being a work on one hand, like truth being like, oh well, I'm released. Start the uproar. It's just like let's see you guys go nuts for me. But on the flip side, no, you weren't released. It's just hey, we just letting you know. It's like Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville wasn't released. Her contract just wasn't renewed.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm like. It's just I'd rather for them almost just like he said, just we hear you, move on, and let me, have more questions. I'd rather this situation, and I hate to say that, and I'd rather have more questions than answers in this, because the more answers you get, the more you be kind of going, well, why I couldn't get this answer for this situation years ago? Because I just like I said, the whole thing was an uproar because of the fact you seeing him in this big, stage with John Cena at Saturday Night's main event. And then like a week later, he and JC Mateo face calling him Solo son. And then the next thing you know, he's on Twitter saying I got released. So of course it hits you like, man, what the I thought, you thinking everything fine, and then they just pop up like, hey, you know what, we done. You like, what? Man, we just went to Disney World, it's like da 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 da. I thought everything was cool. I was like, no offense, but like, say if he did this program with John Cena and like months go on, nobody's kind of thinking about it, and then they're like, he's like, all right, they didn't renew my contract. It probably wouldn't have hit you so hard because you didn't see him, in just such a you wouldn't have thought that they would have let him go at that point. And then to bring him back, and then the way you bring him back, and then you got John Cena as a heel at the same time saying I'm gonna ruin wrestling. A part of me was thinking the entire thing was a work. Because I'm like, what if John Cena was just that much of like I'm gonna hate wrestling? Like, oh y'all like R-Truth? I'm gonna get him up out of here. That's the part I was thinking. But it's just I don't know. it's like the parts of the situation that could make sense in a kayfabe way. It didn't go that way, so it's hard for me to try to make it make sense with the way they went. So that's why I'm just like, he back. I guess I prefer him to be just Ron Killings at this point, so I can just say R-Truth was is gone.
I would love that a whole lot more if he's just Ron Killings. Shout out to Lord. What's good, fellas? The issue wasn't R-Truth being released. The issue was how it was done. Not getting a chance to say goodbye, not offering him a Legends deal or an ambassador role. It was disrespectfully done. That's crazy. Like, just imagine like you're Triple H and you're like trying to talk to R-Truth about working out a deal. R-Truth is kind of being a little unreasonable, because we could be honest, like some people are a little unreasonable. R-Truth, we want to re-sign you to a contract. All right, cool. I need $3 million. R-Truth, $3 million? How about 1.5? We paying Roman $3 million. You ain't Roman, R-Truth. Like, it's like, come on, brother. Like, what else do you want? Like, yeah, I can understand if negotiations sour off of that, or you can't meet up with you can't come to an agreement. It's wraps. That's fine. But I can see Triple H being like, okay, R-Truth, we can't come to an agreement. You've done great work for our company.
Get out of here.
See those other black guys over there? You see Byron Saxton, you see Titus O'Neil, Big E. Go over there. It's like, go play with them over there. You go be a brand ambassador with them. We just see
go sit behind a desk.
Yeah, throw a football out there in an Iowa college with Big E. It's like go out there with Florida. Go out there with Florida and Titus O'Neil. Go out there. We'll give you a microphone. You do your little what's up dance, and you get up out of there. It's just like, we'll pay you for that. Like, honestly, that would have been perfect for R-Truth there. But because he's about to be 60, the man is about to be 60 years old. Like, I don't want to see him, like, he can wrestle, but wrestling often is something that we just don't need to see. R-Truth would be a great manager. I think he would be a great manager, for anybody.
Oh, yeah.
I think he could put somebody over. I think he'll put a lot of people over. The Judgment Day was boring until R-Truth just started BSing with him. So I thought that was a whole lot of fun. A huge shout out to Get Yo. What's good, my peoples? Just, we got to get you on a show, brother. We gotta get Just on a show. I really, really would love to talk to this man this week, or Get Yo, if you have some space available on, if you have some space available on the Get Yo podcast, if by chance, if you don't mind. Huge shout out to Lord. What's good, G? But even throughout it all, let me go back to the screen here that I was sharing, because a lot of people are denying this as well. You want the truth. You got the truth showing us what happened. I can't show you that because, of course, TKO would definitely TKO this podcast. Get us out of here with the quickness. But of course, you say Triple H says it's all a part of the show. Triple H, yeah, that's the clip I played. Mike Johnson, a PWI insider, reported Truth had reached out to independent promotions in recent days. The decision to bring him back happened over the last 72 hours, so in just 3 days. R-Truth's son, Christopher, reposted Triple H remarks in the press conference and gave the simple impression the WWE executive wasn't being entirely forthright. Of course, with the famous stop the cap, as we all see in our age. This is, stop the cap right here.
Yeah.
And of course, unfortunately, it doesn't matter. Yeah, of course, you see Naomi, that was her tweet. Ron Killings just happy that she was, and this is after Big E's amazing speech that he had, talking about Naomi and the success that she's had. But Devin, man, your thought, because now we're hearing from R-Truth's son, like this is cap, like this is part of the show. No, we heard that R-Truth was ignoring WWE for a while until Nick Khan himself reached out to R-Truth and was like, brother, like, come on now, stop playing. It's like, we were just playing. Stop the cap.
It was all a misunderstanding. I can't do a Nick Khan.
I can't do a Nick Khan.
I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just looking at Lord. Lord said, "Will TKO give AJ Styles a farewell tour?" No,
at this point,
I don't think. Not a farewell tour. I don't think so. I think he'll go out in silence. I think he'll have like a Ric Flair going away thing. Like, it was just like, hey, you lose one more match, I think it's time for you to go, brother. But it ain't gonna be like Triple H coming out and saying it. It isn't gonna be like how Vince McMahon came out and told Ric Flair, yeah, brother, you lose one more match, you done. And by the way, your match is against Umaga up next. Die. But like
that was kind of crazy. Yeah, it's like, hey, you lose one more match, you done. Matter of fact, you going against Greg Khali and Umaga in a Hell in a Cell match. It's like,
right, exactly. Would want an arm tied behind your back. It's like, bro, I'm already 70 years old. Like,
yeah, it's like, even if I do win, I might retire after this.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I just don't think AJ Styles is gonna get that farewell tour. Gitcho says, Izzy Dev, say less. Of course, you're always welcome. You know where the key is, brother. Appreciate you so much, and we'll definitely send you one as well throughout the weekend because we love to have you on because you are absolutely you and just the Gitcho podcast in general, absolutely hilarious. Y'all got y'all just too urban, but of course it's that Chicago vibe. That's the ghetto vibe, but Devin, I'm sorry I cut you off, but your thoughts and if you also wanted to throw in something about AJ Styles.
I mean, like I'm granted, I don't know what our true son knows. You know, I'm making it sound all confidential. I don't know what he knows, but it's definitely
like it ain't his father, like it's not his dad.
Like I don't know if his dad got truth in it, but I don't know if he's been telling it. But I just, like I said, I still take it back to, if I was Triple H, I would have just said, look, we heard you, and we made some moves, and I would have just moved on with life. To sit up there and tell people it was a part of the story is, to me, it's like, is all these other releases part of the story too? Was Drew McIntyre being released a part of his story? You could say that, but that's only because we got now how many years upon documented what happened that we can say that as a story. But at the time, no, it was just he got released. So no. And then, like I said, his contract wasn't gonna get renewed. He wasn't just released from his contract. Who knows? So it probably is a lot of cap going around in there. I just don't know who it belongs to. And with AJ Styles and this with TKO, they just seem like I don't know. They seem just so money hungry that I feel like they don't even care about that. They're like, man, we don't care about what you did. They Janet Jackson, I should say. And by saying that, they care about what you done did for them lately. They don't care about what you did, 10 years ago. So as much as I would love to see AJ have a farewell tour, especially with TNA being in your partnership too, come on, it's right there. You almost want to talk to Tony Khan and be like, hey, Samoa Joe ain't doing nothing.
Samoa Joe ain't doing nothing.
Oh, he might want to holler at old Wendy.
We also have a couple names on here, but before we get to the serious and fun stuff, shout out to Gitcho. Okay, Izzy, I peeped the collectibles in the back. Yeah, got a Bray Wyatt, Kevin Owens, of course. Got to put the GOAT Kevin Owens up there, up top first. Also, I see how Dev living. I can tell homie can cook. Is this true, Devin?
Hey, look, that's every Thanksgiving. Who you think putting the food on the table?
That's a fact.
It's unfortunately
I don't hear from this man at all. I don't hear from this man night before Thanksgiving and halfway through the day of Thanksgiving. Because that man be throwing down. He be cooking.
It'd be rough, man. One year I had to fend for myself and I never looked back.
So Thanksgiving at Devin's house.
Exactly. That's where we're gonna be.
Even Ivan just comes to, yes, he does. I can cook, Devin says. Look, he has to answer for you. Look, even need me a plate. Love the Janet Jackson line. Look, man, we knew it. We all knew. we all knew Devin could throw down. Devin.
Hey, see, it's like written on my face, man. But it's cool though. Y'all know what to come on Thanksgiving though. Then y'all always welcome.
But you know what? It makes sense because you have that like walkway where you grabbing a plate, you talking to family, and you like moving. You got that maneuvering room. You got that transition room. Where you got a plate, you got the family together.
I John Moxley out that mug, man. I'd be like, ooh, watch out. Ooh, hold on. Ooh, hold on. You want to see what's on my plate? And then I just keep going, You
want to see what's on my plate? It looked like you got in trouble, like running through there. Like, at some point in time.
Hey, man, see. You funny.
I see the vision. I see the vision. But, I mean, just looking at it, R-Truth, I definitely think that in some instances, I do think that we did get worked because there's no way that you're going to come out and say, like, hey, I got released Because R-Truth's 50 something years old. You know the difference between getting released and having your contract not being
Why you say it like that? Like, man, you old. You know good and well you get released. Stop
ain't
playing
it?
these games. It's
Like
like in
Devin,
my mind, you said that nice, but it came out like you old man. Stop playing these games. You know you ain't get released. Why you go?
if you and your like Devin, if you and your job right now, if you and your job mutually part ways, were you fired?
No.
Were you
It was
released?
mutual. No, because it was a mutual agreement.
Right.
It was a
So I'm
mutual
like,
understanding of however that went.
however that went, that's just how I saw it. And shout out to Lord. This is why I wanted to circle back to it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I mean it's just like I don't know. I was thinking of like a relationship. Like I mean, you could say like, hey, did they leave you? Well, yeah. Okay, you know what I mean? It's just don't, that's just me. Like, did you get released? No, my contract went out. Oh, that's what happened.
Right, and they didn't renew it. They saw, okay, well, that's fine. Like, I literally did. It's not on right now, but look, I be playing MLB The Show. I just got through a season. I saw one person there that I was just like, you know what, brother? You 37 years old. There's no need for you right now. There's no use for you. I'm not even gonna call you. I'm gonna hit that Tony Khan on you. I'm just not even gonna pick up the phone. I'm not gonna call you. Not gonna contact you. I'm gonna just be in there with my friends, living my best life, making wrestling match cards with my friends. By the way, I also got an update for that as well too. But Lord says, okay, this is why I wanted to talk about this last, and then we'll wrap up because we got about 9 minutes left. But we need an AJ Styles farewell tour, Orton farewell tour. TKO can't do this to us. Devin, yes they can. Yes they can. Can they do this to us? Do you want this?
They will. I do because you don't have to call. I had to think about it because I forgot who was in that video. So I had to, you look at things a little differently nowadays. Because I'm like, wow, this man was calling Usher like early in the morning on the little video phone thing. Like, hey boy, get up. We're gonna go to a party tonight. So
you talking about the diddler?
You don't have to call video. I just, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to stay in the house because outside is a little crazy. But that was a jam though. Shout out to 8701, man. I used to have it on CD because I was that way back then.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah. But
we're not also we're not being happy about this, man. We're not celebrating this, man. I'm just having fun. Because he ain't kill nobody. He didn't kill nobody.
Yeah,
like it's just a bunch of dirty stuff going on with a bunch of
crazy
adults.
stuff going on.
But I just had to. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Dang, I'm terrible because I don't forgot where I was now.
Oh, you were talking about Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
Yeah, because that's exactly what TKO gonna do. They're gonna put a stop to all these nostalgic trips that we want to take, even though we feel like, and it's definitely deserved. Because think about it, these guys put their body on the line day in and day out, traveling the world. Like Karrion Kross said, all the birthdays and funerals and stuff that they had to miss, just to be on television every Monday. Sometimes I think it's crazy. I'm like, man, you know what? Come on every Monday Night Raw. So I mean, it's just, I put it that way. I think it's very truly deserved, but with this new money hungry regime, and I get it, who don't like making money and who don't like finding new ways to make more of it. Unfortunately, that's TKO right now. So I don't think that they would see that as a, I think John Cena is John Cena. So it's you kind of got to just turn the whole building upside down if you're like, yeah, no farewell tour for that guy. So I think you pushing it with him makes it you pushing it with them.
Yes, underrated 8701.
It is.
Love it.
Confessions is cool, but you gotta hit 8701. 8701. If you had no confessions without 8701. That's my opinion.
That's a good point. That's actually actually great. That's actually a great point. I lost my point. I lost my train of point. We need an AJ Styles farewell to Orton farewell. Yeah, that's the thing. I disagree with that. As much as I would love to see that, I would love to see a Randy Orton farewell tour. He is great. He is awesome. Really awesome career. We're calling John Cena, or at least WWE is calling John Cena the greatest of all time. And at least if we go back to other sports, Tom Brady, didn't have a farewell tour because he wanted to retire, then came back and, okay, I'm done. I'm for real done. Kobe got one. You know, like Dirk didn't even say he was retiring. They was just like, hey man, shout out to this old white man on the court, man. Let's dab it up for this man here.
Let's give him an idea here.
This man didn't say he was retiring at all that year. They was just like, hey, clap it up for this man. Clap it up. Let's give this man a round of applause. He's just like, what? I still got 2 years left in me, but okay. Like, it's like, sure. I guess I'll retire. But like that, you know, look at this, Lord. Paul Pierce should have gotten a farewell tour. In the words of the great
Draymond Green. The words of Draymond. You ain't Kobe. You thought you was Kobe.
You thought you was Kobe.
Like,
you thought you was like, no.
I'm sorry. That was so good that got brought up because the first thing when we was talking about like John Cena, like him getting one, and it's like, you know, we pushing it for like Randy Orton getting one. It's like, dang, you know, it's like Kobe got one. You know, you said Tom Brady didn't get one. And it's like, shoot, you thought it was Kobe. Everybody can't get one. You know, it's nice to get one, but everybody it's just not how it go.
It's not how it go at all. I gotta
about the sun, sir.
I gotta do some quick research real fast. Okay, cool. Because my thing is that like for guys like that, for guys that have statues, yes, like you need like there's statues of Andre the Giant, of Hulk Hogan, you know, of these so many guys, The Rock, you know, and we see Stone Cold. Okay, then maybe not Roman Reigns, not yet. But like but that's the thing. There will be though. But there will be. I fully believe there will be a Roman Reigns statue. And if Roman Reigns, if he's 55, wants to have a farewell tour, I'm sold. I'm 100%. It depends on what he looked like, but I'm sold on it. I'm down. You know, if he going up there, I want to, like, if Roman Reigns just coming up here, I think I want a farewell tour. You know, like, nah, brother.
Hey, you never know. It'd be like one of them breakthroughs. You'd be like, he ain't going to win this match. And so, you know, he from the Walker, man, just, he started spearing you with the walker in his hands like this. Like, come on, man.
He don't even get no vert off the Superman punch. He just walk up to you. Hit you with that John Cena back fist.
Ooh, wow.
Like, I mean, even like I just don't see the point of a farewell tour for like a Randy Orton. I could see him saying, hey man, this is my like a Jeff Jarrett. You know, it's not necessarily a farewell tour, but it's definitely one of them like, okay, my time is up. It's winding down. Let me at least have a great run while I still can go. And we know you're not going to be in the main event card 60% of the time, but we know what is going to come out of the story. And we know what's going to happen when it's all said and done. So maybe not a farewell tour, but maybe just like a going away party. How about just a going away?
Acknowledge the greatness I've done. Darn it.
Or we could just do it when they retire. How about that? Let's just do it when they retire. Yes, and TKO is treating fans like Cassie with these event prices. Look, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. WWE, we almost paid $100 and something for. It was an event in Arizona a couple years ago for like nosebleeds. And if me and my sister didn't wait for the very last minute when they were $40, we wouldn't have gone at all. Man, get your Jeff Jarrett, man. Bye bitch tour. I love it. We gotta see that too. I would love to see that too. He needs to get on his walker himself. Because he's never getting up there. That man,
I was so hurt. He was talking about farewell tours, and he says with Jeff Jarrett. I was like, man, they told Jeff Jarrett we're gonna make a big deal for you, you know, going out, and then we just not gonna say nothing else about it again.
And they just vanished. And they put him on the pre-show. They didn't even put him on the pre-show. Man. They got him talking on the pre-show. He ain't even wrestling.
He ain't even wrestling. Like,
that's crazy.
They show last year. We gonna make sure you don't do nothing.
We're gonna make sure you ain't do. But before we do close it out, because there was. I did want to end off on that note, but I forgot there was a couple things I did want to show for 2 seconds, just a split second. Callie Armstrong is the first ever WWE Evolve champion and women's champion, excuse me. She's been an absolute monster. I've had a whole lot of fun watching her on my screen, and not for those reasons, but just because she's a really, really great wrestler. And of course, the man as well, who you can't see. Hold on, let me stop sharing there. Oh, let me stop sharing there. Okay, his face just got completely cut out there. Look at that, my like man's here. Man. Yeah, I was like, he was just all up close and personal. Dang, brother, All right, back up. Do me a favor. There we go.
All right, I don't like
Congrats,
this.
new Evolve champion Jackson Drake. Was a whole lot of fun watching them. Devin, your thoughts on the Evolve champions?
It's actually it's pretty. I can't do this. Let me stop. I'm trying to make fun of this. This is what I get. No, it's dope. And it's cool with the way that they're so closely knit with NXT. That I'm gonna be honest. I might have caught maybe 3 episodes of Evolve, and it's no offense to them because I didn't have no. Look, as long as it's not like some episodes of AEW where I'm just like I don't even know if I might be here next week. So they definitely invite me to come back for more, and I do like how closely, like I said, together with NXT they are, because that adds to that exposure. And you having that championship from Evolve, it makes you already look like a bigger deal from that. So it's just, to me, I love it because it's making it it's making it that pipeline of a pathway for people to go through Evolve, build themselves up, build up a character, make it to NXT. And how far you go there, whether you're a North American champion, whether you're a tag team champion, and you go from there. Basically, point I'm trying to make. I feel like I've been terrible at making all my points today. It's like
I was like, this is the second time he didn't talk for 5 minutes. This is like the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I'm like, just stand at the pencil sharpener and your pencil just ain't getting sharpened. And I'm like, I feel like I'm annoying everybody. I promise you I'm trying to sharpen my point though. But yeah, I hate this dude, man. No, this is very great. Look, I'm hoping that this continues, and that I hope this is a very great start of a lineage of some Evolved champions that's gonna lead into, like I said, further exposure in the NXT scene and go from there.
That I 100% agree with.
It's
It
Sunday.
does continue to grow.
It's one of my excuses.
Feels like it does continue to grow. It does continue to get better. It's only an hour. Like I was like, it's only an hour of our time, and I don't even watch most of the matches. Like, and by the way, we were like this close, like 3 or 4 years ago, this close from a Zeta Steel interview. That was we emailed her before we emailed Brittany Brooks, and Brittany Brooks got to us. We talked to her. We interviewed her. It was a fun time. Zeta Steel, I forgot. She sent us a message talking about how busy she was. She could get back to us at a later date, but she was just insanely like she was moving from Arizona to California to Vegas, and they're going over to Boston, New York, New Hampshire, going over to Chicago. And I was like, yeah, we can't catch you. I was like, we just can't catch you. And so she was definitely putting in the work. Okay, Lord, you got me hot here. So if Tyrese gets a chip, he ain't getting a farewell tour. Look, if Tyrese Halliburton brings a ring to Indiana, he's getting a statue. He's getting his old like praise and worship building. Like it's gonna be a statue of him where people just go on their knees, just praying for the man, like praying towards the man. Like what Tyrese Halliburton is doing with the Indiana Pacers. Have we drug tested him yet? Has he been drug tested? Have we drug tested Tyrese Halliburton?
No, he just on that 2019 Kawhi Leonard, run. That's all. I'm just
because I remember when Alex Caruso took a picture all swolled up and he gets to take a drug test. Anthony Edwards dunked on a man and had to get drug tested. Tyrese Halliburton is doing the unthinkable. Where's this drug test at? What's in the water out there in Indianapolis? And because I'm gonna actually be out there for.
I was just out there not too long ago, and that ain't did nothing for me. And this is in the midst of this run, so.
Yeah, I'm like saying that I will be in Indianapolis this week for the NBA Finals.
Y'all see what I'm saying? You see how he'll crap on something and instantly be like, "Well, I'm gonna be there though. It's gonna be a big pile of dog doo doo, and it's gonna stink like flies on ant poop. But I'm gonna be there." It's like, okay, we ain't need to know that beforehand.
Well, that's
because I just shout out to the Indiana Pacers and all that. I just cool.
No,
it ain't me. Well, I'm trying to be decency, I'm trying to be at least nice as I could be, because I honestly, it ain't my people up there, and it ain't even the Bulls. So that's even when they used to try to tell us with the book club, oh, you can get tickets to a Pacers game if you read 20 books. The heck, I would like read 20 books to go to Indianapolis when I can read 20 books and go to the United Center. So I knew they was full of crap back then. But that's my Pacers rant, you know.
Treasure Wilson was that Money in the Bank? Get yo, Devin. You know who Treasure Wilson is? Devin, don't do
Treasure
this.
Wilson.
Don't do this. You know who Treasure
I know
Wilson
a lot of
is.
people. Can I go through my files first? You know, I'm
Nah,
mentally
nah,
like,
nah,
you know.
Now I gotta be childish. Now I gotta be childish. You know who Treasure Wilson
See, there
is.
you go. See, but he chose to do this. He said like we forcing his hand to be childish. He could just be a dog.
You seen this lady, Treasure Wilson?
Man, if you know she in here with her Jean Grey, the Phoenix, man, cosplay looking.
Yeah, she be on the
She was
podcast
in
with
the skybox.
the Mace
Yo.
and Cameron.
NBA in season tournament.
Treasure
be-
Wilson.
Treasure Wilson.
She
Well,
loves wrestling.
welcome
Look,
to
man, I
my
can't
little
believe
brain. Welcome to my little brain. See what I'm
Oh,
saying, man?
I hope you enjoy. And since Devin wants to focus on the cover, Devin needs to focus on the cover.
I was trying to, you know, I was trying to get a full course meal look at this page.
I'm trying to scroll down. Wait. Let me see the cover photo.
Yeah, I'm
are
reading
you
top to
doing?
bottom. When you read books, do you start from the left or the right?
Start from the left or the right. I'll go to what matters. I go to what matters most, and that's what matters.
How would you know that? All right,
I already knew. See, even just knew because I was like, "Do you know who Treasure Wilson is?" Yes, and he goes, "I mean, no lay. He's been putting in the work in the gym. We just didn't notice." Talking about Tyrese Halliburton. Respect people of Indiana, but the Pacers fans have no love. Bulls have no love of Bulls fans. Yeah, no, that's a fact. 100% fact. He also goes on. This is Lord. Stop it, Izzy. You stop it. You stop it. But he goes, y'all turn your back on the GOAT Paul George. Y'all give Tyrese a silver plaque in a coffee shop, and that's it. Yo, look, Lord, true story.
Yeah,
Lord, true story. That Raptors championship. There was a guy from my college that was on the team. He played for the G League. He just hopped on the team. He was suited. His name was Jordan Lloyd. You can look his name up. Jordan Lloyd. He is officially an NBA championship with the University of Indianapolis. He was there the year after. When he graduated, that was the day I popped up. So he was scared of me. He didn't want to see me. He knew I was gonna do that to him. But anyway, he was when Kawhi Leonard takes the shot. Matter of fact. Okay, then I'll leave. Then we'll leave. Kawhi Leonard shot Raptors. I'll show you guys who he is because he's in the picture.
In case you thought I was lying.
Yeah, in case you thought I was lying.
Full
In
of
case you guys think I'm fibbing. He is blah, 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 blah. This guy, if you can see, he is the dude in the black. So this guy right here, his name's Jordan Lloyd. He's pretty much got his arm wrapped around Kawhi Leonard, getting ready to fall into this man's arms. You know, hoping the you know, I ain't going. I'm gonna stop right there. I just stop right there. I was like, before I say something out of pocket, let me just stop right there. Just continue.
So let me just step back in this pocket.
I'll go see if I can get a better picture of that. But now I just popped into a Kawhi Leonard glaze. I just popped into Kawhi Leonard glaze. But outside of all that, long story short, that man, he went to the University of Indianapolis. They considered him. He has a picture with the NBA championship. This man had 0 minutes. He played 0 minutes in the NBA, in this NBA finals. His face plastered, not all over the university, but plastered through Indiana. Congratulations to our NBA champion, Jordan Lloyd. Huh? You know, so if they're doing this for a man with 0 minutes, a man that pretty much nobody knew the name of, if we're gonna be honest, like everybody in the University of Indianapolis knew, but honestly, Tyrese Halliburton, I would be surprised if they don't pretty much kill him on the spot, because that's the best it's gonna be, you know, from then on out. You know, at that point in time, like, this is the best we're ever going to be. We got to make this. We're making this moment last forever. You know, you're not gonna go if we can't have you, no one can. We got to kill you today. He's like, we have to kill you now. Tyrese Halliburton sacrificed somebody. Somebody posted that on Facebook, and I fully believe that Tyrese Halliburton sacrificed somebody to play the way he is.
I mean, he just can't be good.
No, he had to sacrifice somebody.
Well,
so
Sacrifices all that for an NBA ring?
Oh, that for an NBA ring?
All that
Yes,
for a drop of blood?
that's what it was coming down to. At least that's what I thought. That's what it seems like. So now that it seems like Devin, my man's is on vacation, and I can't. And look,
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, when we first did the transition, I was like, "Oh, it's perfect. Ain't nobody gonna know." And then I was like, "You know what?
you know what? People gonna know. It's like, you know what?
You know, I was trying to catch up. I ain't got a nice background like he do, but I will eventually.
Well,
Hopefully,
I ain't gonna
maybe
lie
not.
to you. That's a treasure box I would love to open. Man, ain't that a fact? I mean, well, I mean, just when you're looking at just the great work.
Man, yeah, bro.
Just
Hey,
you,
look at him. I'm already out there, man, looking for the pirates,
You
man,
know
the
what? Hell
Caribbean.
yeah.
We out here looking for treasure.
Yeah.
Oh
we out here
shoot,
looking
see,
for
we out here
treasure.
looking.
I'm telling you, man, that's how it is. I seen this one because they were talking about how they were sneak dissing. They didn't sneak diss Montez and Angelo. They were just like, hey, how come y'all ain't on
Oh
the
yeah,
wrestling,
y'all ain't on
WrestleMania?
WrestleMania.
Oh, so
Y'all on
he know
SmackDown.
Treasure Wilson. See, look, he pretended like he don't
Oh,
know, man. This dude.
you hold on. Excuse me, man. I might have seen the show. I'm not an avid person where I was just like, man, I know that woman. That's Treasure. Whatever her last name is. Love me some her. I just at that moment didn't have that. I didn't have that connection with her. I just, shout
Man,
out to her. She look like she got some really good seats. And I mean, definitely, shout out to her because she look like she got some really good seats. As I should say again.
man, it look
You
like
ever
you had
say
some pretty
sentence?
good seats. My man's in Barbados. That look like you had some pretty good seats.
Hey man, I was checking in on Roman real quick. You was talking all that stuff about how he been gone since Seth Rollins took over. He told me he could cut less because he got Street Fighter coming and that other movie with Kiki Palmer and some other people. So he Gucci, I think.
Devin, unfortunately, we are not Gucci. Oh, first off, get your says. I mean, you heard Cat Williams saying people sold their souls to the devil. That I fully believe.
You can see
Fully
him.
believe.
You see
Tyrese
him now.
Halliburton.
How you think he's shooting like that in the finals? You
He
had to
did it.
sell your soul to do that.
He
You
had
don't
no
just wake
choice.
up and make shots like that.
But Devin,
I should know.
I thought about this. This is gonna be
I
awful.
made 50 free throws in front of Shaq.
Topanga was also out there. Yes, Topanga was also out there living her best life, looking
Okay, now I
bad,
know who that is.
bad to the
No
bone.
offense to Treasure.
So yeah, you usually see Topanga and Vanessa Hudgens and her
Vanessa
trash husband. He
Dang.
pretty much is hanging on for dear life on a baseball team. He was good. He was solid. He was a cheater. But okay, I'm done. I'm gonna get off on him. But Devin,
Living up to the name, I see.
we got to close this show out. But unfortunately, there's no music. So this is going to be my cover to your music. So I want to know, Devin, is there anything you want to say before we close this show out? Hold on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Devin Lee Crimes Jr. coming to you on this nice, beautiful, and however you want to put else in that sandwich of a Sunday for you. And as I rock my my verses over this nice laid beat that I got from DJ Izzy. I'm not gonna hold y'all too long because I don't want this beat to run out. So it's been your boy. We've been on here for almost a good hour and a half. That's why I'm trying to get back into that running motion, and we're gonna beat up. So I'm gonna hand it back over to the number one hater in the nation and the number one beatboxer in the nation right now. Currently, there's nobody better. There's nobody that you gonna find other than the one Isaiah Jackson Jr. Wow.
That was so hard, man. That was fire.
You know what? That was it, like I was trying my best to just keep it in see, he still got that karaoke in the system. He don't want to admit it, but he know when he get in the car, ain't nobody around. You can look, but you can't touch.
Hey,
You
man,
can't dream it from the stars above.
look, I hit that. That was an amazing spin from me. Amazing twirl. They said I look just like Nikki Bella, but that's up for debate. That's up for debate.
I don't know, man. I was in the same room with Nikki Bella and Isaiah's, man. I could have sworn I didn't see one or the other, so I don't know. They say he went to the bathroom supposedly.
I was upset. People got out of their seat when they heard Nikki Bella's theme music. I felt like my butt was glued. I was just like, I'm stuck. I was like, I'm sorry, Nikki. I'm sorry. I tried. I was like, that's all. I'm sorry. I tried. That was the best I could do for you. Best I could do for you, Nikki. That's the best I could do for you. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's like that. When I see a wrestler that I'm not really fond of, I just randomly get glued to my seat for some weird reason. I don't know.
That glued to my seat, Maximus, whatever.
And then it's crazy because like I was glued when Nikki Bella came out. Then as soon as the Motor City Machine Guns DIY match came on, it was like I magically, just magically, I just got out of my seat. Like
Let me stop. It was just the placement of that match. I like Motor City Machine Guns. You know, shout out. We go back to TNA. You know, that's how far back we go. DIY is just DIY.
Let's go. Word of the day from Devin. Let's go, baby.
Hey.
Look, man, we appreciate you guys. Appreciate all of you. We're definitely going to see you guys throughout the week. Of course, Circle of Debate are live throughout the week. Look, just do some promo here. Raw Dogging with Dom is going to be tomorrow. We probably won't join them. I'm actually seeing if me and Devin could do something of our own. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I gotta see if he's free for it. So that we will get on that a little bit soon.
We have me in Colorado, man, again.
We actually have a cool interview. We've been reaching out to do it for some interviews. Somebody reached out, and we got some great news on that. When that's coming up, me and Devin are gonna head to Crown Point to see Elena Black. Elena Black is going to be alive and well, of course, for FKA, formerly known as Cora Jade. She'll be in Crown Point, Indiana, June 15th. I'm not gonna say the name of the promotion because they ain't pay us, but I did email the promotion because look, they're not gonna say they're like a small promotion, but when you compare it to AEW and these other huge names, it is a little hard. But obviously, when you're bringing in the likes of somebody like a Cora Jade, you're bringing in Jinder Mahal, you're bringing in Orange Cassidy. Obviously, there's some money that's coming through, and we would love to work with them. So I've been emailing them and trying to get with the company as well to see if me and Devin could do something with them. So be on the lookout for that. We're gonna have a whole lot more content coming. And oh man, what did the man just compliment us? Did the man just compliment us? Did the great stream gentleman appreciate you, my brother?
Appreciate. Look, I had to pop in. I had to go to the island after I seen that one. That put me, in another place, literally.
Right, I was floored, man. I'm glad to see Trick Williams didn't brutalize you that bad. I'm glad
he wasn't even glued to his seat. Y'all say that he wasn't doing none of that.
I wasn't none of that at all. As soon as I saw Joe Hendry, man, I did the exact same. My neck almost broke. I said, "What? Excuse me?" It was amazing. Oh, huge shout out to Jay Hendry. You might just check it out. Oh, I'm from the south side of Chicago, so it's not too far. Oh, my brother. Say no more, bro. We would love to meet up with you. Because, look, Elena Black is going to be a whole lot of fun. I don't know if Jinder Mahal is going to be there. I know he goes by another name. But I don't know if Jinder Mahal is going to be there. But we do know for a fact Elena Black will be there. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. If you are there, Jay Hendry, we would love to see you, love to meet up with you. Everybody that we meet up with, we got to take a picture. If you're photogenic, if you hate taking photos, I'm sorry to tell you. At least put your shoe in there. We'll just take a picture of our shoes. And we'll take
your shoe in there is crazy. You could at least get a shoulder or something like,
Yeah, get a shoulder. It's gonna be like you ever see like Tom and Jerry or like the beginning, like season 1 of Fairly Odd Parents, where they just cut the neck. You just cut from the neck up.
Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls, the city of Townsville. Yeah, man.
Everybody was like this, man. Like, I guess they weren't really like that. But
they turned invisible.
They just hold on. Yeah, they used to be standing like this, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I would blah, and you just be like, "That's an adult, I guess." So, I think that's a good way to put it. I got that. What was his name? Wizard Kelly.
Yeah, I was going to say, like Wizard Kelly. Like the Wiz.
See, man,
I'm Wizard Kelly, y'all. I'm here to scam y'all.
I'm for the scam y'all. Look, I'm so tall. I be scamming. You won't even know who's scamming you.
That dude was a demon, man. But look, we're about to touch 2 hours, but then again, we took a week off. We kind of took a bit of a week off. So I thought it was fun to come on here, do one for the long run haul. And we got to end this. We got to end this on a great note. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. I think I'm looking at my phone.
Man, because I would have. I don't know. This is why I'm going on Facebook no more. I've opened it up and seen the nastiest thing I ever saw in my life. And I don't even
It's
know
crazy.
what
I
to do.
just went on Facebook, but I didn't see the nastiest thing I've seen in my life.
Yeah, like this was crazy because I saw it earlier. Like now it's like another person reposted it. So I'm like, yeah, this is enough.
What
It's
is
like
it?
I don't know. That's why I'm just like it looked like I don't know if it's somebody's nipple or if it's somebody's other regions, but it's some other stuff coming out of it that I ain't never seen before. So I'm just like, why y'all want to show me this on a Sunday? That's why I got what's her name number. I ain't got to pop in here no more. Oh,
That's
so
why
you
I
know
got her
what?
number.
I ain't know the boss sent me a friend request.